Left, your left, hey. Left, right, your left. You got it.
Trucker. Tom Cruise. Roll out. You're watching or listening to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. We the people, the People's Patriot Project.
To put your skill set, your thoughts, and ideas, or want to help continue the mission, you have come to the right place. We are the People's Patriot Project, and we are the shock and awe when it comes to meeting the needs of our veterans and first responders. We are dealing with a new enemy in today's world where the wounds are not always seen. We want you to be a part of this mission in saving lives and making a difference. Welcome to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. Here's the We P3 team bringing you today's best heroes hits in the boots on the ground organizations that are saving lives. And as always, Patriot Pride.
Left, your left, hey. Left, right, your left. You got it. Trucker.
Good evening and welcome to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime here with the People's Patriot Project. I'm Andrea Eichmann and I'm here to start us off tonight by welcoming you and inviting you to join us every week at 1800 right here on all of our Facebook channels and YouTube and Rumble sometimes. So stick with us. Every week we bring you a guest. Many times we bring a new musician. And sometimes some old friends, and we share all the good, sometimes not so good things that are happening in our world. Every week I like to throw out Peggy and Bobby Kretzinger down there with Operation Texas Strong. Man, they are moving and moving. I think I saw 3 or 4 new RVs being given away to homeless veterans just this week. Just always moving. And then I also need to say shout out to Derek Iozio. Thanks, bud. You're amazing. He's just been a great support and team player and all of the above. Today is April 30th, 2023. We have some really awesome guests to share with you tonight. We have got Jonathon Barton. He's here with Warfighter Group and a list of other credits. So we're going to let him talk about those and share his mission, all the exciting things he's doing and has coming up. And then we also, really by they say skin of his teeth, Shaefer Mueller is here, and I'm impressed if a tire actually got changed in that amount of time. We're glad you're here. He's going to share some music with us, talk about what he's got going on. But before we get started with all of this, we would like you to stand if you can, put your hand over your heart, take off your hat, and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the
United States of America,
and to the
to the
republic
republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
with
with liberty and justice for all.
Justice for all.
That
Boom! There we go. Right?
Wow!
How exciting! Shaefer Mueller might be part of either Indy or NASCAR. 5 minutes ago, he sent some pictures saying he's changing a flat tire.
Dude, I was moving. I'm like out of breath. I'm out of breath. I'm out of breath.
That's awesome. We have to take care of you, brother. We don't throw our guys under the bus. Every once in a while, we do get that cancellation and just stuff happens. But we're glad you're all here.
I washed my
face. Good to see you.
I had some tire stuff on it. So I was halfway through the tire, and I had a good buddy show up, and he was like, "Hey," him and his girl were like, "Take my car. We'll finish it up here." So I took their car with my guitar, drove home, and they finished up the tire. So they came.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, gotta get a shot now.
Yeah,
we all need friends like that.
Yeah,
I was going to say, I thought I had good friends.
Yeah, otherwise I wouldn't have made it. I'll tell you that.
Well, that was pretty fantastic.
Awesome.
That was,
we're glad
really
you're
great.
both here tonight.
Glad to be here.
Yeah,
we're glad you're both here tonight, and we're excited to have both of you. Lots of information to share. Jonathan, how about you give us the news real quick?
I can do that. So this is the last day of April. So we'll cover a little bit of April news, and we'll jump into the beginning of May as well. So April is once again the month of the military child. We recognize the unique challenges that children in military families face, long separations, frequent moves. It's a time to honor their sacrifice to the military community. It's an opportunity to recognize military children and the youth for their heroism, character, courage, sacrifices, and continued resilience. April is also Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and the goal is to raise awareness about sexual violence and educate communities on how to prevent these things from happening. Today, April 30th, is National Therapy Animal Day. It promotes the health and wellness benefits of animal-assisted therapy activities and education. Animal therapy, or pet therapy, refers to using animals to help people cope and recover from certain physical and mental health conditions. The noticeable changes in human behavior when interacting with animals are the main reason why animal therapy is so attractive, and why it has become such an integral today's therapeutic practice. You use pets like rabbits and pigs and birds and all kind of stuff now. May 1st is Silver Star Service Banner Day. The Silver Star is awarded to those who show distinguished valor in combat. It is the third highest decoration in the Armed Forces of the United States. The Silver Star Service Banner Day recognizes the sacrifices of the ill, wounded, and dying service personnel, but the day also honors those awarded with the Silver Star Medal as well as their families. The color silver symbolizes the gallantry of the service members, and the blue symbolizes hope, and the two colors reinforce the message of Silver Star Service Banner Day. May 2nd, Childhood Depression Awareness Day. was created to protect children who are suffering from the debilitating illness. In the U.S. alone, the suicide rate among 10 to 24-year-olds increased by nearly 60% between 2007 and 2018. Depression it's a collective problem, and everyone should be aware of it, especially when it affects the children. The responsibility to maintain awareness is even greater. Use Childhood Depression Awareness Day as the perfect time to learn more about it. There's so much information to cover, but you can do a little bit of research on childhood depression if you have children or work with children. So let's do our part to help combat this illness and make ourselves aware of what to be on the look for. May 2nd is National Teacher Appreciation Day, and I'm sure no one here has ever heard of that. It's observed on the first Tuesday of the first full week of May, and we're more than ready to show our appreciation to those who have taught us. This day was meant to honor them. It was actually made by a teacher, the First Lady, Eleanor Roosevelt. The official National Day celebrates teachers by gift giving and the showing of accolades for students and parents alike. You can use the hashtag Teacher Appreciation Day and National Teachers Day on social media to show teachers that they are making a difference and that we appreciate them. Lastly, May 4th is a National Day of Prayer. Faith is a big part of American culture. It's a diverse nation filled with people from various ethnicities with a variety of beliefs. The National Day of Prayer that we know today was founded in 1952. It was co-founded by the United States Congress and President Harry S. Truman. Since this day is designated for people to take time to actually pray, the best way that you can celebrate it is by praying. No matter what faith you believe, take a moment to celebrate it, reflect on it, talk to God, and acknowledge the existence of your faith or the existence of faith in your life. And that is all for the news today.
Well, thank you for sharing that, Jonathan. I am not always on it, but it just took me a minute to figure out that we actually have two Johns on the show tonight. So it will be addressed as Jonathan, our regular ambassador from Bourbon Battle Buddies, and Mr. Barton, you'll be addressed as such, Mr. Barton. Is that all right?
Yeah, I saw that too, so I made sure I used my abbreviated first name. So
okay, all right. But I thought I saw somewhere you may go by JB in some.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, when I first got started, everyone was named John in the film business, and I was like, I'm just another John. So I just became JB.
I don't think we should say just another John. I think that
just
has
another. There are so many Johns.
Yeah. I would like to point out real quick that he doesn't have an H in his name, and personally, I think that is remarkable. I like it.
Biblical spelling.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, but Jonathan, you have an H in your name. Does that make it not right?
Yeah, but it's not between the O and the N, so it doesn't count.
Middle H, it's all right.
Well, so our first segment, we normally just find out who we are, what we do, where we're going. Well, where we're going is actually another one, and we're trying to mix up our play a little bit. And Andrea is going to take the second segment. And she wanted to have a little bit. I'm throwing her right under there. I mean, because we can all do it. But
we talk about things and then we decide right
well,
here.
we did.
Now. That's
we
awesome.
did.
I love it.
We talked about it once.
I know how that works.
We talked about one day.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Mr. Barton, tell us about your service, like where you're at and what you're doing right now.
Well, let's start with where I'm at. I'm in beautiful Port Hueneme, Navy base, Ventura County. I'm here in the RV. We're taking the summer to travel around the bases from Pendleton all the way up north to Mission Bay. So this is Hueneme, and I live in Los Angeles, so it's not that bad of a commute. In terms of my military service, the United States Marine Corps, 12 years, combat vet. I did Noble Eagle, Operation Enduring Freedom, OIF 1, OIF 2, was in Fallujah, did the rounds. And finally, I got out. I joined a reserve unit, went to 4th Light Armored Reconnaissance at Camp Pendleton, which is a little bit of a different animal, and then left the military after 12 years. And because I was at Pendleton, I was pretty close to Los Angeles, and I started working in the film industry. Another sergeant major friend of mine was working on projects, and he's like, "Hey, JB, I need you to come up and work with me. You just got back from the shit, so come on up and show me how it's done." And I'm like, "Okay, I don't even know what I'm doing." And so so that got me started in film and TV, and it's been a long ride ever since.
That's outstanding. It's amazing. And I don't know what the pull is in the industry. It's not for me, other than the fact that we're trying to do our own live streaming stuff, which is a little different than the filming that you do. We have a number of veterans in our network that have gone to the film industry and is working in that film area. And it's always so intriguing. Everyone's particular approach to it and how they decide that they're going to do it. And it's exciting and fun to watch at the same time because your materials do pop up. I've been trying really hard. It didn't work out. This is off the subject on the subject, but I really want to watch John Schroeder's To Die For film. It apparently you can get it on Vimeo. I'm not even sure if I'm saying that correctly, but if you get a chance, it's about and based on a real life story of the man who has gone around flying his flag at his discretion on his property and on his vehicle and the battles he went through to do that. And I think it does come to a demise at the end, but I haven't seen it. So that's not a spoiler alert. That's just me not knowing what I'm talking about. So,
bless you.
Thanks.
Is this did your service help prepare you for the areas you're going into right now?
Yeah, beyond a doubt. I was an 0351, so infantry assaultman, and we're having to deal with a lot of kinetic motion and moving through, orders of battle really fast and dealing with a lot of orders and conflicting orders as things coming down right away. And it was just crazy. I started working in the film industry, and I'm like, this is exactly like the infantry. I mean, half the time no one knows what they're doing. The other half the time are rushing through, kick a door in, and there's guns blazing all day. I started working really big, huge budget A-list action movies, and we would have 600-800 extras running around with blanks, and just that. If I wasn't already prepared mentally from combat and dealing with the infantry for so many years, they would have been very difficult because it can be overwhelming. A movie sets can be very, very overwhelming. But I fit right in, and my expertise is in weapons and weapon systems, and so all of a sudden, I'm thrust into the mix of, oh, wait, let's make sure all 600 of these people don't shoot each other in the back, right? Because even though we're using blanks, you could still get someone hurt. And that's how I made my niche, is keeping people safe. And had I not been in the infantry and been in combat, I would have been a fish out of water.
I was going to make a joke, but my brain doesn't click that fast sometimes. It seems like there's a movie that's coming out here soon that could have used your expertise a little bit.
Well, there might be. I don't get to work on every movie, unfortunately. It's it's only we early on we tried to take as many different projects as we could, and we got spread a little thin. But I've done some 200 movies and television shows. With a lot of the weapons training on Terminal List recently for Amazon Studios. I've worked with every major celebrity to teach them gun handling, but I focus on the big celebrities, the Chris Hemsworths and the Tom Cruises of the world. And so when they work with me, it's like it's a status thing for them to know they've got the best weapon handler in the film industry working with them. So I don't get a chance to work a lot with smaller projects, which is unfortunate because I'm a huge independent movie fan. So the big movies are fine. We do a lot of work for Marvel. I just wrapped up Captain America 4. And those are great, wonderful projects, but I love smaller films myself.
No, the movie I was referring to was Rusted with Alec Baldwin, and I know that's a little tasteless at this time, but
well,
it's
listen. Look, I mean, I don't want to speak ill of the dead and anything, but that unfortunately that incident reevaluated my job security. So it's I've been on Entertainment Tonight. I've been on various podcasts talking about weapons safety, why it's integral in movies, because it doesn't happen often. But when it happens, when an accident on a movie set happens, it becomes an international news story.
100%.
It, because we should not have reality intersecting fantasy. We want to create something fun and exciting, but we want to do it safely. When people get hurt or killed on a movie set, we've violated all the rules we've sworn to uphold in making movies, and it's unfortunate.
Well, and how about the taste of reality that this is dangerous?
Absolutely.
And
sure.
It does happen. It does kind of help me parallel. It helps me parallel the thoughts of even working in the world of, because we support both first responders and veterans. There are 600 million first responder calls every year. And to have the number of issues in regards to police officers discharging weapons and or doing stupid stuff to begin with that end up killing people that are in the right place to begin with. And I've heard some terrible stories of late of a guy who came to his door, didn't know who was pounding on his door. They're at the wrong address. And that's sad and unfortunate. And I hate that. But I'm going to tell you what, it's worth having those police officers available. I just saw a post just now that you can curse me, you can swear me, you can spit on me, but I'm still going to be showing up. And I was getting ready to do the post that said, you can even kill my brother and sister, and we are still going to be showing up, because that's the verbiage we're at right now. But that's another tangent, and I apologize, but it is kind of the battle that we're at right now in the streets of America.
It is. And it's a good parallel too. It's I think that people, when I talk about I make movies and I work in the film industry, people just associate that with, it's not real military stuff. It's not real guns. It's not real this. And that's categorically not true. Many times we'll work, let's say at Pendleton, like when I did Battle Los Angeles, and we used, Abrams at Pendleton, and there was a huge element of danger if I got my actors near an Abrams and they got run over. I mean, they're dead. That's how fast that would have happened. And so, that intersection of reality and fantasy is critical. When you someone like me, or there's other people like me out there that need to navigate that for the civilians, especially in the film industry, because a lot of them have zero experience with law enforcement, guns, weapons training, weapons safety, any of that. So without a guide, without a shepherd to kind of push things through, accidents do happen, have happened, and will continue to happen. So I take my job really serious, but I get what you're saying. Absolutely.
Many of them don't know their butt from their ear when it comes to weapons to begin with. Jonathon did a little piece on teacher appreciation week. Both me and Andrea are educators. As one of the pieces, not that I coerced him to put that in there, that's his thing altogether, but we work with the National Education Association, both Andrea and myself, and the AFT, and we've been at conferences where they are caucusing and having conversations about getting rid of semi-automatic weapons. And I'm like, you don't know that's every weapon in the world, people, just so you know. Every weapon is considered a semi-automatic. You don't know what you're even talking about. I show them pictures. I try and trap them all the time. Well, what kind of weapon is this? Well, that's a machine gun. Oh, really? Because this is definitely a water pistol that I found that looks like it. And you got to be careful of those pieces too. But education. That's
Absolutely.
What we get to.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I try when I'm on projects, I try to make sure I not only show but teach, and so I try to make every show a little bit better so the civilians understand a little more our world as opposed to just telling them what to do.
It's amazing. It is amazing, and it's amazing that it'd be like me making a law or rule or expectation for surfboards because I know so much about them. And you got these same people trying to make rules, laws, and expectations for the people that are actually doing what they're supposed to be doing. But again, another tangent, and we don't talk about political things on this show ever, do we, people?
Sure.
Try not to. Shaefer Mueller.
Howdy.
race car extraordinaire, tire changer.
Now that's my buddies. They got my back. I had to mute my thing because I was all covered in pollen, so I was sitting here sneezing. And I was like, man, that's got to get annoying. So I just muted it real quick.
Shaefer, where are you at right now, brother?
Louisiana. Good 80-degree weather right now. It's nice.
I hear nothing good comes from Louisiana.
I'm not from here, so I'm pretty good. Now we're here right now.
How far are you two apart from each other right now?
Not that I'm gonna sound creepy or anything, but I did like stalk his music channels and stuff. But finding where he's from, yeah, he's about 3 hours north, closer to Shreveport.
That's nothing, dude. I just came from a gig in Shreveport, so it's only like a 40-minute drive from my house to where my gig was that day in Shreveport, so it's pretty close.
Well, I know Jonathon here he has been stalking you. We have done everything we could to pull the reins back and say, let the guy live his life, Jonathon. But
keep talking, dude.
Probably gonna end up at one of your shows down here anytime soon. So.
Hey, May 25th. Come on. Where you at in Louisiana?
I know this is going to sound strange, but I'm south of New Orleans.
All right.
Only you guys would understand that.
It's only like 3 places south of New Orleans.
I was down there the other day. No, I was down there in February, south of New Orleans.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in.
All right. Yeah. I stayed there in February, actually. A little hotel out there. My wife had a roller derby tournament that way.
Oh, nice.
You're feeding his creeper. You're feeding his creeper.
You should have gone. You should have gone.
I remember seeing the advertisement.
That's exciting stuff.
Yeah, she likes hurting people. So she used to always roller skate, and then she said she wanted to hit people. So she gets her anger out on the skates.
And how is that for you, Shaefer? No.
That probably saves you, right?
Well, it's been nice since she gets to hit other people, but during COVID, she had to take it out on me. So, yeah. No, it's not that bad. I was training them for a little bit, her and her roller derby team up in Alaska, and I wore the little body bag and let them hit me real hard, and she can put down some hits, I tell you.
Nice.
Good for her.
She's beefy.
So, just so everyone knows, we can now start our show because Gabriel Wren has shown up. So we can now, it's time we can start.
Gabriel.
Odd story, Mr. Burton. This is one of our film guys. He runs a program called Trinity Productions out of Nashville. So,
outstanding. Fantastic.
Yeah. He likes to do music videos and hang around with big music stars and stuff. But he...
Oh, that's unfortunate. That sounds like a hard day at the office, man. I dig it.
Gabriel, he would never complain. It's fine.
Shaefer, tell us about your service and you already told us where you're at. So tell us about your service and how it influenced your music.
Yeah. Well, so before I joined the Army, I was playing music here and there, and I gave it up for a bit, went to college for civil engineering, and then I wanted to join the Army before college, and I was like, well, I'll get a degree first. And then like my senior year, I was like, yeah, no, not for me. So I joined the Army, and I wanted to do something that was combat. So I went to the recruiter and I said, hey, what leaves the soonest that's infantry or combat related? And he was like, infantry leaves in 6 months. I got a parachute rigger. And I was like, no. And so I heard bad things about those guys. Pretty boring job. So no offense to any parachute riggers out there listening. But so I looked up some things that were leaving soon and saw combat engineers. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. I saw some sapper video and I was like, that looks cool. So I went in, did that. And I left a week after talking to the recruiter. And so I went out to basic in Leonard Wood and airborne school down in Benton, Georgia. And then I was in the 425, which is now the 11th Airborne Division. They switched their name since I've got out, but up in Alaska, and I was with them. I deployed with the 501st and did a lot of work with the 509th, but I deployed with the 501st out to Afghanistan, Operation Freedom Sentinel and Resolute Support.
Oh, yeah.
Freedom Sentinel was a lot better than Resolute Support, but a lot better rules of engagement there. But yeah, I spent a little bit. I spent like 10 months in Afghanistan, and most of my time was in Alaska, just doing Arctic training and airborne operations, but mostly training. Cold, negative 30-degree weather. So I was not in a light unit though. I mean, I was not in a heavy unit. I was in a light unit. So I heard bad things about combat engineers when they were like, "Hey, you just ride around in a truck all day and look for IEDs." I was like, "Nah, that ain't for me." And I tried getting better at PT so I could get that airborne slot, and I got it, and got into a light unit, and that was a mistake. We ruck everywhere. We jump in, spend 2 weeks in the woods, ruck back like 20K back, and just did a lot of live fires for our training. Then when we got to Afghanistan, before we were attached as turf to the 10th group and 1st group special forces. Before that, we did a month of route clearance, but we didn't have trucks. We're not truck guys. We're on foot. So we just got to walk in an echelon and look for IEDs on foot. And I was like, well, this sucks. But it was pretty fun. Got to see some cool stuff.
It's kind of funny, the amount of times when I'm talking to people about the mission and what we do and where we're at, and every once in a while I get people that walk into my life and say, well, they knew what they were getting into. And I'm like, there is absolutely no way to validate the stupid I don't have my beeper up. That's all right. The stupid shit you're saying right now, because that's like the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And then that's their validation for lack of support or not support. And of course, I love bringing up the pictures of the young men getting ready to beach at Iwo Jima and even Normandy, and look at the people that are in those boats. And I'm like, tell me what you see here. And this may seem a little bit off topic, but the point is you have young men, the ages of 17 to 24-ish, that are in the back of that boat getting ready to go into hand-to-hand combat with these guys. And why are you bringing this up, Mark? Well, the point is that you got young men and women that really don't know their butt from their ear going into service and have no idea what they're getting into. And when they get there, it's brand new, it's there. And, who would think? I mean, I was artillery, and I thought that, honestly, we wore our woodland camo, and at some point there's going to be a campfire somewhere, so you could, because that's what you do. I mean, there ain't no campfires anymore.
I had a campfire. There was just a bunch of feces and batteries.
Well, that sums it up.
The burn-offs are campfires, but you don't really want to be hanging around those when they're burning off.
We had kids always digging through the burn pits, man. We had to sit out there, and we're just like, you know what? Let's make the best of it.
Always.
Sit on an MRE box and just watch it. Watch it burn.
Awesome. Well, we have 3 songs lined up for you, and we're trying a new thing tonight. This is a new step for us. So I hope I get the right song.
Hey, any song's a good song, right?
All right. Well, we can go with that. Because I wasn't smart enough to label these.
Russian
because this is new in this particular. So we used to be able just to load them in the StreamYard. We still can, but the title sits there plain as day, and I'm like, boom, here it is. You have, what was the 3? Do you remember the 3 songs you gave me?
My wife told me what 3 to do, and it was Stubborn, Dancing, and One Last Rodeo.
Yeah,
those are her favorite. Yeah,
the first.
So let's go with Stubborn. You got a story behind Stubborn?
Yeah, actually, maybe that's why she chose it, because I actually have a story for that one. But when I was in college, before I joined the Army, right before I dropped out, I was running out of money. I had a lot of good debt, or bad debt rather. But I was sleeping in my car, and it was a couple months, and I saved up enough money to buy this new Taylor guitar because I was like, this shit's awesome. So I got this new guitar instead of finding a place to live. And then a couple months later, I met my ex-wife, and I was sitting there. I was like, I need to write a song about the crappy stuff I did before. Trying not to cuss, sorry, but the crappy stuff I did before I met her. And I was like, man, I was like at a low part. I just made I was a stubborn asshole all the time. And I bought this guitar when I was homeless, essentially, and and just put the wrong things forward. And so I sat down and wrote this song about that probably a month before I left for basic. And then my ex-wife and I lasted about good 3 months. You know, she found some other dude, some Marine, you know. Thanks, John.
Happens.
No, no, but hey, no, it worked out for the better. But yeah, this song was about that time when I was just making a lot of bad decisions. So
this is Mr. Shaefer Mueller with Stubborn.
Everything I do, yeah, I take the wrong turn. Every time I hit a fork in the road to my life. Well, I'm usually wrong, but I swear that I'm right. A drink will be the only thing. I said a drink will be the only thing to help me sleep tonight. To help me sleep tonight. Again, yeah, I thought I wrote a curse way back when, but it's gotta handle me, and it keeps on pulling me back in. Well, I seen it wreck my life. Well, I seen it terrorize everything that used to be alright. Well, I'm stubborn as a mule, I'm a hard-headed fool, I made the wrong choice. Everything I do, yeah, I take a wrong turn. Every time I hit a fork in the road to my life. Well, I'm usually wrong, but I swear that I'm right. A drink will be the only thing. I said a drink will be the only thing to help me sleep tonight. To help me sleep tonight. Drunk, never wanted to get back up, but I fell down. I just let my whole world spin around, and when I had a drink, the only time I didn't think about my world crumbling down around me. You see, I bought a new guitar while I'm sleeping in my car. Never get too far, never up too far, so I go to the bar with a pass a jar. All it does is add another scar to my mind, and it's not kind. I'm selfish, and you will find, yeah. Well, I'm stubborn as a mule, I'm a hard-headed fool. I made the wrong choice. Everything I do, yeah, I take a wrong turn. Every time I hit a fork in the road to my life. Well, I'm usually wrong, but I swear that I'm right. A drink will be the only thing. I said a drink will be the only thing to help me sleep tonight. To help me sleep tonight.
That is Shaefer Mueller. I'm totally.
thanks.
You laid it down, man. That gets a little boogie in you.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I like to boogie a little bit.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's outstanding. That's so we've been doing this for 2 years, and we've been getting just this huge lineup of amazing musicians that I'm sorry, if you're not listening, people, you're not looking. I mean, that's the truth. And I just get so excited because we get these musicians in our network, and I'm like, where can we plug them next, and what can we do with them next? And that's the whole thing I think about. Sorry, Shaefer, you got a talent. We're gonna get you out there.
I appreciate
out
that.
there.
Oh, darn.
Thank you. Dang it.
Oh, no, don't do that. Fantastic.
Well, so Mr. Jonathan Crochet is getting ready to launch his podcast series, Bourbon Battle Buddies, and he's gonna be doing and pulling musicians on for an intimate conversation. And we do have a new podcast in our network that we're going to be having on soon. Also looking to kind of do the same. I did have the conversation that, how much content are you going to steal? No, I didn't. And it's not stealing, because here's the deal. I want to get you guys out there as much as possible so people hear and know that you're out there. I mean, the People's Patriot Project has created something kind of special with this platform, and we're excited to bring all those people that are boots on the ground and have a mission. Music's the mission for Mr. Mueller. Film is the mission for Mr. Barton. And I'm excited, man. And I have a way that, if in collaboration, if you guys have time to talk after the show, we'd like to do a little collaboration time. If we keep it to the 1 hour mark, of course, which we have a hard time doing all the time. I don't know if we shared that with you guys. Surprise. We'll see what happens.
Just let it flow wherever it goes.
If anyone has a heart out, I want you to remember that, again, we appreciate that you're here. And if you have to bug at some point, we completely get it. And we respect you and your time.
I don't even have my car, so I can't leave.
You're
Right?
stuck.
Well, we planned that. We didn't tell you, but we had Jonathan.
You got me all night, you know.
That might be why you're tired. No, it's not.
Dude, it's blown out all the way around the sides too. It's gonna cost a lot. I had a nail in it before I left my gig, and I saw it, and I was like, "That's all right." I had like 28 psi. I was like, "I can make it home," and I was going like 75 on the highway, and I saw it hit 10 psi, and then 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 0, and then I was like, "Oh!" Like immediately, I was like, "Oh no, that's not good." I got off, and I was on the rim, and the whole sidewall was all ripped up, and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna make it home.
What? Well, there's a reason why they didn't give you a vehicle when you're in the military. You know that, right? Yeah. That's. You do stuff like this.
I had a Humvee. There was a small stint there where I was my LC's driver, and I blew out a tire.
Wow!
During our
shocker.
During our JRTC, man, I blew out a tire and I sat beside that truck for 3 days because the whole sidewall was ripped up. Because I was like, I can make it, man. It's not that bad.
I like it.
Bad idea.
Seeing a pattern, just a little pattern on this.
I was gonna let it be flat in the driveway. I didn't think it would go flat on the highway. So
that's straight up classic private E3 work right there, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I try to do.
Perfect.
Or lieutenant. You can be a lieutenant too, so that counts.
You rig it, you ride it. I figured it'd ride, you know.
Right. Hey, Peterson, I have some math for you to do because we're on episode 148 today.
Uh-huh.
And if we do one a week, we're almost hitting our 4th year, bud. It's our 3rd year.
Wow.
We're in our 3rd
3 years.
season.
3rd.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
3rd season. This is the only one
we missed
thing
a bunch in there.
But
We missed a bunch. I don't know why I got the tickle in my throat. Maybe this is a perfect time for Andrea to take over the show.
yeah, I got you. I'm a language arts teacher, so anytime I can correct your math, I like to throw that in.
Correct my math.
Yep. No, anybody's math. Okay.
Not even going to weigh in. My math sucks.
I was thinking, how many weeks is there in a year? And 3 years.
Don't know.
That's a lot more. But
It's too much math. I can't. Brain's already going.
I used to be a math guy. I liked it.
Engineer, yeah, man.
Well, that was bombs. I didn't actually get to do any engineering stuff, but civil engineering was all math.
You know, as O351, we had to deal a lot with explosives and breaching charges.
There's a lot of math with breaching charges.
A lot of math, and I just remember my first breaching class, and I'm sitting there before I became the instructor, and I'm running down my little chart.
Yeah.
I'm like, math. They had told me I'd never use math again.
Yeah. Man, like I-beam charges and silhouette charges and stuff. You got to figure out how far you got to be back and how much explosives to use. Yeah.
Handoff distance.
That was Yeah, I was in a sapper unit, and that's all we did was breaching charges. So we had to figure out, all right, where do we got to stand, make sure there wasn't any overpressure and all that.
Yeah, static overpressure, reflexive pressure indoors.
Yeah,
we, that was what's fun about Iraq was it was just so much breaching.
Yeah,
we were patrol breaching all the time, and
best part of my job, breaching, man. It's
really
fun.
It's a great fun job.
except the breach guy always is the one to get hit usually, or the point guy actually. The point guy going in, whatever.
It was always fun. Yeah, yeah.
Look at where that.
I got to run up to another door. Come on, man.
Yeah,
they're gonna shoot me first. Anyone else want to come with me?
Yeah,
taking takers.
Stand in front of the door, laying it.
Stand up there trying to lean on. Duct tape won't stick.
Yeah, use a impulse charge on the metal door. So you're sitting there with 2 IV bags.
Oh yeah, 2 IV bags trying to make it. Come on, get on there. In there.
Oh man.
Look at this, Army and Navy, and you guys are like speaking the same language. Even I'm impressed.
Good times.
It's the same war fighting. Same war fighting.
That's it. Well,
explosives are explosives.
Yep.
Mr. Barton, with your warfighter, I was going to pick something to ask you about, but there is a lot. There's a lot to pick from.
I cover a lot of territory.
Yeah. I would love to hear about the warfighter mission. I mean, you have a couple titles under it, even.
Yeah. So the Warfighter Group was, it was my. I was a business major when I left the Marine Corps, so I wanted to start teaching other vets how to reclaim Middle America, to become entrepreneurs, and strike off and try to do something important for themselves and their families. Because a lot of us got out, we were unemployed, no one was hiring, nothing to do, and I got lucky and I started my first company and I rolled that in and started with nothing and made it into something, and I wanted to teach that. And so the Warfighter Group came up as a mentorship program and an outreach program to other vets and disabled veterans and how to take charge of your entrepreneurial life and to do something amazing. And I was there to teach and guide, and I spoke at colleges and high schools, and I on base, and I just constantly tried to mentor as many vets as I could. And from that, we created a nonprofit, and from that, I decided that I didn't want to work so much in movies every day, and I wanted to start doing something really cool. And so I launched a microbrewery up in the Bay Area to create jobs for disabled veterans on the spot and teach vets how to make beer. And of course, the first vet that had to learn how to make beer was me. So I had to teach myself how to brew. And thankfully, I was pretty good at it. So I wound up winning all kinds of beer awards and stuff. And then I would bring vets into work for me. And I'd say, look, if I can do it, guys, anyone can do it. Now, here's the roadmap I used. Here's the self-guidance that I use. And here's, and I would teach these tactics to that. And so that's how the Warfighter Group came up.
I like that. It can't be horrible if you're kind of good at it to be the taste tester as well. I can only imagine.
Really did not suck.
Yeah.
That's something I got in common, John. I mean, I when I first moved to Louisiana, I got a job as a brewer at a brewery.
Oh,
fantastic. I learned how to brew, and I was like, I like this. This is nice.
Isn't it fun?
Yeah. All the different freaking, I mean,
yeah.
I figured out I was allergic to a certain kind of hop, though. Every time I would go dump the hops in there, I get like rashes, but that's my favorite beer because it gets me messed up quicker.
The internal rashes. I see.
Yeah.
Mr. Barton, what's your favorite one to make?
Oh, well, okay. So Warfighter Brewing Company prided itself on my recipes of being extremely flavor diverse. And I experiment with all kinds of stuff, from bourbon aged toasted coconut vanilla stouts to a quadruple IPA and blah, 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 really bitter, blah. But shockingly enough, my favorite beer to make, and the one that we had the most success, was a beer I called Sacrifice. Which name doesn't imply anything with taste. It was a strawberry lager. And I used real strawberries and it all thing. I just made it as a joke. I'm like, I'm going to put strawberry in a beer. I'm going to call it Sacrifice, and no one's going to drink it. And I wound up making it, and we sold out every night of this damn beer. And I'm like, why did grown men, my Marine buddies, would come into the bar and just, dude, I need 2 gallons of that damn strawberry beer. I'm like, what? So I was constantly feeding them that strawberry beer. So that became a passion project of mine. How can I make it better? And I made it with vanilla and did some other fun stuff to it. And it wound up being our biggest seller. So
wow.
Absolutely
none of the hard stuff.
Embarrassing. Absolutely
very
embarrassing.
Unfortunately.
Ridiculous. What is this? What is this country coming to, for Pete's sakes?
Fruity beer.
Strawberry beer.
Oh,
Something
no.
like sacrifice to make a strawberry beer manly, right?
Call it courage, but I just couldn't do it. I just no way.
Well, I personally like a nice bourbon aged, stout or imperial stout.
Yeah, sure. Me too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You can keep your strawberry whatever.
If you had it, it's refreshing.
Ice cream too.
Well, here's the thing. It was almost 12% alcohol because the fruit activated with the yeast, and you would get banged up on this stuff. Like, it was pretty crazy. So
nice.
that's why the Marines liked it. They're like, well, I'll have one beer and I'm toast. Yeah. Strawberry beer. Yeah.
That sounds actually fun.
Cool.
Yeah, we're probably going to open back up. We closed down for COVID. I mean, we all suffered. All of us have suffered through the COVID shutdowns, right? So we had to shut down. Obviously, we couldn't have people in the tasting room, or I couldn't even have staff. So we're going to open probably up back here in Oxnard, Ventura, which is why I'm here for this. I'm scouting locations and doing some other stuff while I'm in between shows. And if you guys ever make it to California, man, beer's on me.
Hills to the yes.
Where is that? In
Ventura? Ventura.
Yeah.
I don't know how often you guys get out to Southern California, but
my best buddy lives out in Simi Valley.
Oh,
yes. I was closing on a house in is it Simi? I don't know.
Yeah.
I was closing on a house there in 2000. It was during COVID, 2020, and then COVID switched my wife's orders to Louisiana. So we were supposed to go to LA Airport.
Gotcha. Yeah, LA Airport Base. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where she was supposed to go. So I went down to California, spent a month there with my buddy and looking at houses, and we were closing. We were 30 days into a 60-day escrow, like 35 days, and had to back out. But we were about to live there near you.
You would have been right down the road. I love Simi Valley a lot. It's a place around Reagan and place.
He loves it. He grew up in Huntington Beach, Orange County. Or something.
Sure, yeah.
And so he just moved up there with his wife and his kids. He loves it.
That's brilliant, man. Well, if you come back, if she gets those orders back again, man, please, by all means.
We're going to Alaska next, but I plan on coming down there.
That'll be perfect.
Got too excited.
Please look me up, man. I'd love to have you.
Yeah, I'll be there, I'm sure, soon. I'm going back to San Francisco soon, which is not very close, but I should be going to visit him sometime in the near future. So I'll hit you up. I'll come get some beer.
Man. Please, I'm up in the Bay Area a lot. We've got plenty of beer up there. So
I got there's a company, Operation Encore. They hook up veterans with music and stuff, and they recorded the Stubborn. They recorded that up in San Francisco, and so I was up there a couple months ago to record that. So they're good dudes up there.
Oh, it's brilliant. Yeah. I think a lot of people don't know the Bay Area's got a lot of resources for vets. I think it gets, there's a lot of military groups and families up there. So, contrary to popular belief.
It's always amazing.
So I'll believe you.
I just want to interject real quick. It's always amazing the connections that we make on our show, with our guests, and it's fun. It's nurturing. It builds. Derek Iozio he's Catch 22 out of Southern Texas. Does an amazing job supporting us. That has his own mission, but he comes here and he watches, and it just builds and grows. And this is the piece that's missing in taking care of our veterans and first responders across the board, and showing them that we're here. Brothers and sisters, we are literally here. We support you. We want to support you. We would rather have those conversations than to read the newspaper the next day that you're not with us. And there's a plethora of just like joining the military. There's a plethora of resources, and there's a plethora of opportunities to serve still, and that's what the People's Patriot Project brings. We have a ton of open doors. We have a ton of stories we like to share. We try to make it about our guests the night of We Got Your 6 at 6, but we've got several events coming up, one down in Texas. Andrew's going to talk about, I'm sure, later. I'm heading next week to America's Veteran Ball in Maryland. Really excited about that with Ozzy Ramos, and I'm hooking up with Adam Bird while we're there of Heroes Media Group, and we get the awesome, amazing opportunity to also hang out with Dave Bray, who's the musician that night. And then Ramus was able to coerce Miss Jen Ford to come into National Harbor as well to advance party. Hopefully, maybe next year she's the guest of honor when it comes to music. And so really exciting stuff. And again, on first name basis with everyone that's coming up. I see the Krutzingers came in. You guys are amazing. Thank you for showing up, and thank you for the mission you have on the ground. I do want to state, Bobby's not a veteran or first responder. Can you believe it? We shouldn't allow him to do a thing in this. Wait, shut the hell up. That dude is the hardest working man I've ever seen in my life in helping veterans and first responders. Him and his wife live an endless time of support. And big surprise, and I think Andrew said it earlier, I think and Bobby will correct me when I'm wrong here, I think we're up to 130, 140, maybe 150 RVs donated to homeless vets since January last year.
And they got their store open. Their store is open now too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And so tonight's show, I kind of dubbed "What Are You Doing?" Because we got a lot of people that want to critique, people that are working hard and have boots on the ground and are putting their lifeblood into helping people. And then we've got a lot of people that sit over there on the couch and they just have a way of critiquing of how well everyone is doing. And
keyboard warriors.
I will gladly have a conversation with you at any time if you want to have that conversation. I don't think you do, but join us and you can be part of the mission, part of the shock and awe in helping veterans and first responders.
Do we say we coined that? Be part of it, not apart from it.
100%. Yeah.
Like that.
Trademark.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
It's hashtagged. I don't think it's trademarked for us yet, but we'll get there.
Hashtag works too.
Yeah.
Almost better.
It was that was named after a show. It was a good show. So Shaefer too, going into that, I wanted to actually finish up. I'm going to call you JB because it's really hard for me to do the two Jonathans. So JB.
See? That's how it works.
We do this. In fact, I was just scrolling through today, as much as I don't love being on social media all the time, and I came across a group who was announcing that they were working with another group and putting some things together and then supporting these other groups. And that's really what we do because we don't have the notoriety. We have the reach, but it's because of these groups that get us all the way across the nation, right? We're solid in Texas. We got Jonathan in Louisiana, and we're coast to coast with our connections. We can't do all that on our own because we teach school most of the year. And so all these little groups that collaborate, and we've come across just very few that just too busy doing their own thing, or they're not really doing it with their hearts. They're doing it for other reasons. And so, so thanks for coming on tonight. And then watching you two, Shaefer and JB, just chit chat. I was like, I'm going to just sit back because this is good. And it happens. This is what this show does. And we sit back after it's all done and we just go, wow, how did we pick these two people at this point in time and listen to them go? And then Gabe's jumping in too. Gabe's here all the time, and he's a good one he has a question. I don't think Peterson put it out there. We can maybe talk about that one later.
Yeah, that's a post-show question.
He might be a little pot stirrer, Gabriel, but he's a fun one. So then, Shaefer, I wanted to ask you, a lot of our musicians come on, and quite a few of them were spurred by their service to get into music. In fact, some of them never touched a guitar until they were somewhere else in the world and wanted to fill their time. And so what's your background on that?
Yeah. So, well, growing up, I liked music, and my granddad played music a lot, and I had given it up right when I left for college. And when I got in the Army, it wasn't so much from the service that brought music back to me. Songwriting it did, but I knew how to play guitar a little bit. I told people I didn't really play anymore, and I met a guy, one of my good buddies that was in my unit, and he played guitar, and he was like, "You know how to play?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And so I played a little bit with him. And he was like, "Hey, you're not that bad, man. You're pretty good. Like, you should go do some stuff." And it didn't really like satisfy me. It was just something I did until we were at this OP in Afghanistan. We were in the Nangarhar Valley. We had no technology, no power. There's nothing to do. So I had a notebook, and I had one guy there that was adamant about me writing songs, and just like that's what kept us going. So I was sitting there writing some songs. I wrote a lot while I was over there, and I think we were there for 4 months before like Christmas, and the USO sling loaded in some kind of cheap guitar, and I was like, perfect. And so we got a guitar, and him and I would just sit up and play some music, and he played guitar, and we tried to write some songs, and that was really, really big. But when I got home, I got out of the Army, and I went through some things of my own, and ended up writing one song that kind of helped me out of it, because I didn't want to do anything. I lost all interest, and I wrote the song called Happy, and it had a different name back in the day, but my buddies up in San Francisco guided me to the way of naming it Happy, and they said it's a better name for it. But so it was called Never Would Have Known, or Never Let It Show. And it's just about, you don't know what somebody's going through, and none of that, if you ever get a chance to, listen to it. But that was one that kind of set me back onto the music track. So sitting there and writing down what I was feeling at that time, and just being able to put it into words. And then I played it, and it helped me. It made me feel better. And then I went to an open mic night, and I played it, and it was hard for me to get through at that time because I was still in it. And that open mic night set me up with a bunch of other gigs, and kind of took off from there. So music was, at that point, when I was still in the thick of it, that was a thing that just let my mind not have to think. I just went over there and played and sang. And so that, I will say, that's probably something that pushed me to do music as a career now, because it was something that would get me out. And next thing you know, I was playing 5 nights a week, and I wasn't really thinking about my own life at that point. I was just playing music, which was awesome. But music wise, I played before the Army, but it was just, a lot of those songs came from deployment and post deployment, where, I mean, the only song I think I have that I play now that was not affiliated with the Army at all was Stubborn. And that was from another low part of my life when I was, not making good decisions. So, I guess it's a good way to, it's a good way to get out of depression, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's the message we get quite often is, we want our music to help. Music is healing. It's universal, and it's healing, and it's a comfort. And so we can't thank you guys enough for the writing and for the whole processing of the songs. So thank you.
That helps us more, I think. Writing music, it's like, it's more of a therapeutic thing, and then if people listen, it feels even better. So I know for that one song, Happy, I wrote it for myself. I never wanted to play it at a gig, and I played it at a gig once, and it's my wife's, like, one of her favorite songs. She was like, I love this song. It means so much, but I just didn't like playing it. I don't know why. I don't like singing it. And she posted a video on Facebook or something, and there was a girl I went to high school with that I was really good friends with. Her mom killed herself, and she reached out to me, and she said this song meant so much to me, and she wanted, like, the lyrics to it and whatnot. And I was like, okay, well, that feels good. And then now when I play it and people have some kind of story with it, like, it makes me feel even better. So it's even more therapeutic now. So
I'll definitely be grabbing that. Surprise, another piece. We have another platform that we use called WeP3 Radio that is exclusively veteran and first responder radio. That's all you hear on it. And Patriot players. I mean, you can't have not play Coffee Anderson, Mr. Red, White, and Blue. You can't not do that. And of course, Toby Keith has a line of songs that are definitely patriotic, and then we feel you got to have some Kid Rock in there, and Aaron Lewis. I mean, come on, these are the heavy hitters of patriotism. Yeah. I'm the only one. If you don't have I'm the only one on your playlist as a veteran, then you probably.
What about Craig Morgan?
Yeah. Well,
He
100%.
he was Army.
Yeah.
So,
Airborne.
so we're going to get your stuff lined up on WP3 Radio as well. We're doing a relaunch of it. We're working on we've changed platforms, and we're going with Foxhole Radio out of Georgia, and they're going to be showcasing and taking care of that for us. But 100% get you lined up on there. Tell us about dancing.
This song was after I got back, and all my songs were pretty sad and depressing after that fact. And so I think I was on terminal leave or something, but I was pretty close to either just getting out or out of the Army. And I thought, well, I should probably write a song for my wife. And so we were dating at the time, but I was like, well, let me try to write a song that's not sad and depressing. And when we met, she doesn't remember meeting me. It was 3 months before we actually started dating, and she was hammered, supposedly. I thought she knew me, but I guess not. She came up, and actually I wrote the song pretty simple. So like I wrote down how we met first, and then I've turned it into a song. So when I tell you guys how we met, it's going to sound pretty identical, but she literally came up to me and asked me to dance. And I was with my buddy Cash from LA now, or Simi Valley. And he was like, we ain't here to dance. We're here to get drunk, dude. And I was like, nah, I ain't dancing. And then we ended up dancing, and she taught me how to two-step, and well, the rest was history. So I wrote down how we met and put it into a song, and this is that song.
That's great, man.
Awesome.
This is Shaefer Mueller with Dancing.
Thanks.
She came up and asked me to dance. I said no, but she took my hand. She led me out onto that old dance floor. I said I don't know how. She said that's fine. I'm gonna teach you just left, right. And when I say so, just make sure that you're tipping me low. Now we're dancing around in the kitchen, always putting on a show, 'cause we're dancing wherever we go. Always putting on a show, 'cause we're dancing wherever we go. Well, after the dance, I took my chance and said, darling, can I be your man? And she said, no, I don't do romance. But 3 months later on a Saturday night, underneath the glow of a neon light, we ran into each other, then we sat and we talked all night. And now we're dancing around in the kitchen, always putting on a show, 'cause we're dancing wherever we go. Yeah, we're dancing around in the kitchen, always putting on a show, 'cause we're dancing wherever we go. Just laugh when I think back to how we started with a no. And I just laugh when I think back to how we started with a no. And now we're dancing around in the kitchen, always putting on a show, 'cause we're dancing wherever we go. Dancing around in the kitchen, always putting on a show, 'cause we're dancing wherever we go. Well, 3 years later, I made her my wife, had a little girl, and she changed our life. And now she's the one that we're dancing around with. Now we're dancing around in the kitchen, always putting on a show, 'cause we're dancing wherever we go. Yeah, we're dancing around in the kitchen, always putting on a show, 'cause we're dancing wherever we go.
We'll get here. Gosh, dang it.
Did we lose Shaefer?
No, we didn't lose him. It's,
I got kicked out, man.
Wow.
we got
Get this guy out of here.
We got an engineer that don't know his butt from his ears, what it is. And that's
He's in the upper left of my screen right now, I think.
I thought y'all were just saying, man, this guy got to go.
no, absolutely not.
Shit ass song, dude.
No, I appreciate this your music, brother, and it's I sit there and I wonder constantly, why is this not in our ears more often? I mean,
thank you.
So
you're a talented musician, and you've got I sound like a broken record on the show, and I'm not going gee, and of course it gets better when you have and it's not quite a personal relationship right now, but we'll work on that piece, and
we can hug
we'd like to do things different at the People's Patriot Project, and the fact that we're boots on the ground building relationships. That's what we do. It's the pillar to why we are as successful as we are. We literally have our hand out to pull those in need in, and to build relationships with those that can get the job done. Literally boots on the ground. And I can't say there's no conflict, because that would be inaccurate. We're a bunch of military idiots that can't figure out how to work together. That they taught us how to do that all the way back when, by making someone a leader or a supervisor over us that couldn't handle that skill set, and so we learned to hate as much as anyone else can.
Fair.
And so we take that on into our future life, and we try to create organizations that, and we've refused to be part of that narrative. And that's how we ended up, we started our Friday night show. It was a virtual happy hour during the second week of that C-19 thing that they were talking about back in the day. And a lot of success in just bringing people on and debunking the narrative that everyone was depressed, because as far as I knew, because I was shacked up in my house, the news was telling us that everyone was depressed and everyone was not going to make it through this thing. And I'm like, yeah, I'm doing okay. Let's see what everyone else is doing. And we knew we couldn't do it on Friday forever, because that's the nights I'd actually like to go out and drink. So let's do it on Sunday night, which gave me an excuse to drink on Sunday night, because it was a virtual happy hour. And then we all got fat, and then we all went on a diet, and then we had to stop being a virtual happy hour because we kept asking each other what's in each other's glass. And, well, I'm drinking water tonight. What are you drinking? I'm drinking water too. Oh, well, this is not very
happy
fun
hour anymore.
Right.
So, and now we're where we're at. And again, Andrew just brought it to fruition that we are now 3 years into this amazing ride. Thank you, Timothy Newton of the Timothy Newton or Tim Newton Band. He's one of the groups that we brought into Nashville this last year for the WP3 Nashville takeover. 27 artists, 5 days, 6 venues, and had the time of our lives. And Shaefer, if we'd have known you, you'd have had an invite back.
Well, thank you.
It was pretty freaking awesome. And Jonathon wasn't even in our network then, and he would definitely gotten an invite as well. But we decided to go into Nashville because 6 veterans were up for music awards at the Josie Awards. And I reached out to the Pasentinos and said, hey, we're kind of a media group. I probably oversold what we do, but that's okay. I know, right? And I said, can we host your red carpet? And they said, hey, come on over. And I'm like, this is silly. What's that movie when Leonardo DiCaprio runs around saying he's a pilot and stuff? That's what
Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah,
Catch Me If You Can. That's what me and Andrea do. We run around saying we do big things, and we
I love it. You guys are doing big things, man. This is great. It's really fantastic.
We're enjoying it. It's we selfishly are enjoying it, and you know what? So one of our missions is lighten the load, and I really honestly believe that we do lighten the load. Normally that is paying someone's utility bills or helping them relocate, moving, or we've given away cars, we've given away RVs, we've given away opportunities. We do something called recalibration retreats for those who can't afford to just go take a break without having to worry about what the financial burden is to that. Try to take care of childcare and stuff like that for them, so mom and dad can go make another child. Recalibrate. That's what I meant to say. And it's fun. I'm sorry. I'm selfishly doing this. I'm having a great time doing it. And some of the behind the scenes conversations with my director are not always fun. And it's because of the stress we put on ourselves sometimes and trying to get all this stuff done. And I had to talk to our radio guy today, and I said, we don't have enough people to do what we're doing. And again, so here's our plea for anyone that's listening. We're always looking for time, talent, and treasure. If you have and want to continue to serve, let us know. That's how you make a difference, people. And if you haven't heard Timothy Newton and his Tim Newton Band, he's going to remind me, and I'm having one of my brain moments right now. Outlaw Southern rock is what they are. And they try to typecast that persona. It's kind of funny. Not funny. They're hell of a bunch of guys to hang around. That's what I'm going to say.
It's fitting. It's very fitting.
100% fitting.
Mm-hmm.
There's sometimes Timothy Newton is one of those guys I have to, before I like it, have to make sure I listen to it, because me and Andrew kind of have to keep it a little bit cleaner, at least PG-13, with working with the teacher industry that we work with. They like to cast lots, maybe on occasion. So, boy, the conversation we can have after this weekend, I'd love to have that. Different forum. Moving on. Mr. Barton, what is next for you and what you're going to get done?
Whoa. Well, I really want to reopen the brewing company. We had a really good success rate creating jobs for disabled vets. I want to push, do more work. I've always been of the belief that as a veteran, that we make it through, we're our brother's keeper. So if we're successful, it is upon us to give success to others. So I try every time I can to help lift other vets up and give them opportunities. So that's a passion of mine, and I'd like to continue that. I got a bunch of weird movies in the works, and I've written some books and some television shows and stuff, and maybe they'll sell. There's always something that I'm trying to do, and I'm also thinking about going back to school and getting my law degree. So I don't know.
I love it.
Hell yeah.
Trying to do everything I can, right? We only get one time on this planet. Make the best of it.
What typically is your genre of movie?
Well, I do big military stuff, but my genre is action movies. I train action heroes basically. So I just finished up some stuff on Mission Impossible. Very rarely do I get deep into like the Black Hawk Downs of the film industry. I can do them, and my company can support them. We own millions of dollars in. I don't know if you guys know this or not. Speaking of, this is kind of off topic. Last year at the same time, I was the first private citizen to donate to the war in Ukraine. I gave $1.2 million in body armor, training
That's right.
equipment, military equipment over to the Ukrainians because I was so fed up that we are, as a country, weren't doing anything. The politicians weren't doing anything. It's driving me crazy. So I just went into my company and I said, anything we can liquidate that can help go save a life, let's get it overseas. On my own
That's
dime.
amazing.
Got on a flight, got it over to Kyiv, got it in the hands of the Ukrainian military within 7 days.
Hell yeah.
We're rather proud of that accomplishment because I hate bullies, and I really wanted to do something good for the Ukrainians.
If it did go
I
to
don't
the
know.
government, I can promise it wouldn't have happened in 7 days, huh?
No, not a chance.
I'm sure you have great resources and people in that area, but also, just so you know, we do have people in our network that are actively active in that
Fantastic.
space from this network. That and if you need a go-to person at any given time, if you're still in that position, let us know. And if that's something you're interested in, we never use this platform to solicit, but
for sure. And the other thing we do is I was supporting a lot of the guys going over to the Foreign Legion, the Ukrainian Foreigners Legion, or however they called it. As a lot of the Americans were going over and they didn't have enough boots and enough cold weather gear and stuff. So they were calling me and I was giving them camis and multicam and boots, brand new out of the box. Like, I buy all this stuff for training our celebrities. And so I'll buy 1,000 pairs of boots, right? Because I need 10 sizes in a given training cycle, and we'll go through a bunch. So I had the equipment, I was happy to donate. And so any vets in you guys' network that are thinking about going over, or they need any kind of equipment, please have them reach out to me, and I'm sure I've got stuff.
Oh, definitely. I got a couple of people in mind right now, actually, and we'll
send them over.
We'll show that information and
I think you should share as well what you sent me an article. You've been busy in one more area as well.
Yeah, I mean, Shaefer can attest to this. Hearing loss within combat arms. I mean, it is not talked about enough, and I started noticing I was saying "what" a lot and turning the volume up, and I'm like, I just don't understand it. But from tinnitus all the way down to hearing loss, and I'm like, this is just ridiculous. So I started working with the Hearing Health Foundation. It's an organization on the East Coast that creates awareness for hearing health, and this month I just got on the cover of their Hearing Health magazine. I wrote an article for it was actually went to military.com, and we repurposed it for their magazine, and talking about the 3M lawsuit that I'm involved with, and how the military could do much more. There's so much good technology for stopping hearing loss, and yet when I went in, the government wasn't giving us it. We were getting the worst possible hearing protection, and I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. We're the front line, and we're getting foamies when I own a private company and I've got noise canceling thing. Like, I just couldn't. The two did not marry up, so I was a little pissed off. So I wrote an article. So.
You didn't roll out the little balls of foam and shove them in, and then
I did.
Yeah,
I
did. I had that for sure.
And then fall out.
Yeah.
No, I all my operator buddies, my Raider buddies and my 19th group guys, they'd all come back like, "Oh, dude, I've got these amazing." I'm like, "Really? That's fantastic for you." The rest of us at grunts didn't get shit.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was passionate.
The day I stumbled onto noise cancellation headphones on the gun was like, what? Where did this even come from?
Whole new world. Whole new world of shooting.
It's a different. It's so different.
I acquired some on deployment. We were with the SF dudes, and we had the foamies, and they had all the good equipment, and we were out there shooting one day, and I don't really know how I came across these noise canceling ones, but they also had Bluetooth. So now I use them for music while I'm at the shooting range. But I threw them things on, and you're on the 240, and it's just like silent, hear everything. Silent. I was like, dang, this is awesome.
I just nuts. Think about it from a warfighting perspective, how much that is combat effective to the troop on the dirt. And I just was shocked that I just didn't understand it. And look, God bless special operations and teams. I mean, of course, they're well funded. They can get cool stuff. But those of us in the infantry and combat arms, I mean, we're suffering hearing loss on like this huge level. It's tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of us over the course of 2 generations. And it's like, we could have just benefited from something more technologically savvy. So I don't know. I was a little miffed. But thank God you got a pair of those noise canceling ones. See, I should have just brought mine overseas.
I had like 2 months left with them, but dang, they're nice.
They are nice, right? And they work. It all works so well.
I'll be talking to my AG, man, and just freaking have a conversation and then start popping off rounds and not hear anything and then go back to talking. I'm like, this is awesome.
It really is.
Yeah.
And people ask me a lot, like, how do you train celebrities in gun work? And I'm like, we can talk to each other. It's simple. You know, we have the technology. We can just have a conversation, pop some rounds, pop some steel, and then carry on. It's not like the old days. What?
Yeah.
What'd you say? Hold on, let me take this out.
Huh?
Right, don't go forward and look at the shooting line. Stop it. Come back.
Ceasefire.
Whoops. Can hear me.
Oh boy, the stories.
Hey, you guys, I don't mean to cut this short. I've got to get the little one to dinner, and if you guys
Do your
don't
thing,
mind.
brother. Thank you. No, you've already done.
Thank you so
committed to it.
much.
You did it.
Hey, it's been
Thanks
an
for
honor.
being here, John.
I really appreciate the invitation, and please, if you guys ever want me to come back on, please, I'd like to come back on with Shaefer. He's really cool.
That's a great menu, man. I'll see you in California.
Dude, please, I beg you, please come
Yeah,
see me. I'd love to see
Definitely.
you.
Yeah, my buddy
We'll
that
connect.
I deployed with, man, he's up there. I told you so. I'll be
Dude,
there.
look at Andrea. If there's any way you can get Shaefer my information, please. If there's any way we can stay in contact, I'd love to keep in contact with you guys. So
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
That's an easy thing.
Awesome. Thanks again,
We're
if
like
you guys
Stray
ever
Cat.
need anything, please come to me. If you need something, someone needs something, I got resources.
We're like
Yeah.
stray cats. Once you let us in, we're
Keep coming
We're
back.
rubbing-
Keep on
Hey.
coming back.
There's a special place in heaven for us vets that help each other. So
amen.
we can only do good work.
Awesome.
Thanks for
Thank
coming
you
on,
so
John.
much.
Good night, you guys.
Appreciate it. Take care,
Take
John.
care.
Have a
Take your
good
pride.
night.
Yeah.
I
And then
think
there was one.
I know. I think we got to say hi to Mr. Shannon Book. He might have just snuck in to take a
Did
peek.
he sneak in for a second?
Shannon.
Being quiet. Who puts him? Oh,
Oh,
there.
there he is. Jeez. Speaking of stray cats,
Shannon!
Oh,
and you
boy,
probably know
here-
Shannon through Operation Encore.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna be hanging out in Alaska next month.
Oh, that's where. Okay, yeah.
Camping a little
Absolutely.
bit, building a little bit, singing a little bit. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Do you guys gonna go
Yeah.
hunting?
Probably not that trip because you got to get some tags and stuff, and it's pretty hard to get. Well, it depends on what you want to hunt, I guess. But like
Sure.
bear tags, moose tags are pretty hard to get. You got to get on like a lottery for it.
There's always ways.
But I'm still a what do you call it, resident, so I can go fit. He can come up with me. We can go fishing all day.
Okay. Yeah. What's you catch the salmon and trout? Yeah.
Yeah, salmon all day. Once you're a resident for a full calendar year, you can dip net. So you can get like, I forgot what the limit is because we've been gone now. Yeah, we've been stalking each other for quite a while.
They call it stalking now, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's just it's a love thing. It's sexual. But so you can get like I think 7 a day or something, depending on the limit that year. But with your dip netting, you can go in and catch like 20, just throw a net out and grab them once you're a resident for a year. So you can get a lot of salmon, not enough to eat it all. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. And just because he's on here, we want to drop what he's doing. He's got a video coming out next week. What are you sharing?
I'm just
6th, right?
Just
May
because
6th.
he's on here, because we weren't going to talk about him if he didn't stop in. That's how it was.
Yeah.
Gonna work.
We wouldn't have.
No.
I mean,
No,
The
you
6th.
pay your dues, Book. You got to pay your
the
dues.
6th. That's right. We were trying to work a special little debut thing out. It doesn't look like it looks like he's going to be busy next weekend, so that's fine. But
The life of famous people, dude.
I know, right? If you haven't heard "Dear Mom," you got to go listen to it. Make sure you grab a box of Kleenexes as well, and because that's the kind of song that it is, and it's a perfect song for the perfect reason, and it's going to be an anthem because every young soldier goes through those steps, regardless of their combat or not. They get separated from their family. From age 17 to, usually 21, 22. And then it might be family and children and kids and stuff later on in deployment. And But we knew what we were getting into when we did this stuff. That's what it comes down to. So, what's next for you, Mr. Mueller?
I'm moving to Alaska.
Yeah.
June 1st. So I think I'm gonna have yes, we do. It's all the other boys we cuddle with in the sleeping bags. I was answering that. That right. I don't know what side I'm on your screen, but yeah. So I'm driving up to Virginia. I think I'm gonna be opening up for Chris Young in Virginia on the 4th of June, and then heading up to Alaska, hang out with Shannon for 10 days or whatever it is, and then opening up for Chris Young on the 24th in Alaska. So it's gonna be a busy June for me. And then I'm just stuck in Alaska playing music and hopefully still putting out music. So we'll see.
Is this what happens in Alaska stays in Alaska kind of thing? Is that what...
Yeah. It's gonna be cold. It's gonna be wet. We're gonna be four-wheeling. It's gonna be who knows? Wherever the tide takes us.
Maybe I wasn't paying attention. What part of Alaska are you guys gonna be in?
We're gonna be in Homer or outside of Homer. From what I hear, it's like an hour little mud trail outside of Homer on some four-wheelers. So
is this we had Fred, remember Fred?
Yes.
The gold digger? Wow. Gold rush guy?
The gold digger.
Gold digger. Yes. Well, I've watched him, I just don't remember.
Fred Lewis is a veteran, and I don't know if you ever watched Gold Rush, the TV show, Shaefer, but Fred, he started off as a security / medical provider for Parker on his missions, and Parker's just a gold miner, but then he
makes sense.
Yeah, moved over to, but Fred Lewis is up there. That we've threatened.
I lived up there before, and I met a guy who was on one of those TV shows. I think it was Gold Rush, and he had a boat, and he asked me if I knew how to. I just got out of the Army. He asked me if I knew how to drive an excavator, and I was like, "Duh, let's do this thing." And he was going to throw me on the boat, and we were going to go on the next season. And their boat ended up like crapping out on them in the first 2 weeks. I was going to meet him up there like a month in, and so that never happened, which is probably for the better because I don't think they made any money. So you only get paid what you find. So it would have been a crappy flight up there to make nothing. Yeah. But I'm familiar with all that for sure.
But it's all about the experience, right?
Yeah.
The experience puts food on the table, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, if you're lucky. Running a pan. Yeah, Fred was going to try to put all veteran crews together for like the support, the cook, the work, all of it. He's a fun guy. Very fun.
Tell him if he needs an explosives guy, I can do it.
Send him your name.
Yeah.
I bet. We can make that connection.
Hey.
Yeah. I believe it's called Final Rodeo.
One Last Rodeo.
My bad.
Hey, same thing.
Tell us about it.
So this one was one of the newest ones I wrote. It was kind of going in a spot where I just wanted to write something about somebody in their last moments. And I was at my buddy's kid's rodeo when I was thinking about it. And I was like, well, it just kind of flowed in, right? And so I started off with a scene in my head. I kind of try to write a story before I write a song. So I wrote out this scene in my head about somebody on their deathbed and trying to say goodbye. And then this whole song is kind of wrapped around that and wanting to have one last goodbye and final hurrah before they go. So
outstanding. And again, I think we'll come back from the song and just close out comments. And normally we try and line it up to end up on the very last song, but I think we'll come back and because we got nothing but time tonight, right? One Last Rodeo. Shaefer Mueller.
One last rodeo, It's all I need before I hit the road, before I leave, before I hang up my hat, before I walk through those gates, before I never turn back. Give me one last day. Give me one more ride, one more time in the suit, one last goodbye, one final salute. Give me one last dance, one last ride around the pen, one last staying up all night, laughing and crying. Just let me say goodbye before you call me home, before I head down that road. Give me one last rodeo. I can hear you calling out to me. Yeah, I know it's my time. It's my time to leave. Let me hug my kids just one last time. Let me have this last dance with my wife. Give me one more ride, one more time in the suit, one last goodbye, one final salute. Give me one last dance, one last ride around the pen, one last staying up all night, laughing and crying. Just let me say goodbye before you call me home, before I head down that road. Give me one last rodeo. Give me one more ride, one more time in the suit, one last goodbye, one final salute. Give me one last dance, one last ride around the pen, one last staying up all night, laughing and crying. Just let me say goodbye before you call me home, before I head down that road. Give me one last rodeo. And give me one last rodeo.
That's One Last Rodeo by Shaefer Mueller. Where have you been my entire life? That's just kind of the piece that we get to at this point, and it's just like
just hiding.
You're 100% gifted, brother.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You are in. We have a moment of getting weird, and I'm okay with being weird at this point. But you're a blessing. People need to hear this message, and it's not smacking in the face, and we share that with people all the time. That the musicians that we feature, there is a story behind their music most of the time, a lot of the time. But again, that's not a punch you in the face. Hey, this is about mental illness or PTSD or anything. It's all of us need to have one last rodeo. All of us need to, and if you're not looking for that, I mean, maybe you're more blessed than I am. I don't know. I always want that one more round of sun, man, and that's You never know when that is. So
Yeah,
that's another thing you need to consider.
I appreciate y'all playing all my songs tonight. So that's very nice. Thank you.
Well, you're the one with the gift, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're the one with the gift. So
now that's Shannon over there in the comments.
he talks too much. He's just
Shannon doesn't talk too much.
You know, Shaefer, you're not wrong.
But you are not.
He's a blessing too. He's probably already coerced Andrea to give him the intro code so he can come in for post show and talk dumb for a couple minutes. We always enjoy it. It's like having that dog on the other side of the fence, and you know what that dog is going to do if you open the gate, and you watch someone walk up, and they're like, "Do I open this gate or not?" And he's like, "Yeah, let's watch this happen." And it's like you were talking about the kids digging through the burn pits and stuff.
Yep.
Oh, I know what's going to happen here. Let's just sit and watch. I think it's going to happen, Shannon Book. I think it's going to happen.
I agree. We got all these Alaskan nights. Sun never sets.
You guys might be busy,
Gotta stay warm.
Love it. I love it. Did I hear? Is your wife a service member as well?
She's in the Air Force. Yeah, 11 years.
Yeah.
Currently still active duty, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank her for her service, and
I will. She just left.
Her
she just went to dinner during that last song. She said she's done waiting on me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. She's getting me a beer. I'll meet her later.
We're just a short 41 minutes past our. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
What kind of beer do you drink?
I drink all kind of beer. If it's beer, it's good.
Great.
Yeah.
She's waiting. So the people that gave me their car and let me drive theirs home, they're waiting for us at Sushi. So she went to go meet them.
Is that the name of the place, Sushi?
No, I think it's like Ichiban.
It doesn't matter. They're not giving us any money, so that we don't.
Yeah. So they're there, but yeah. So I'm gonna go buy them dinner for giving me their car for the night. So take it back to them.
There's a few beers I drink, not at all as of late, but we don't have to get into that conversation.
Your hair's long. You don't like Bud Light?
Gosh, edge it. Clearly, Crochet doesn't drink it.
No, I drink. So brewing beer, I really like IPAs, which people are always like, "Oh, you're a hipster, huh? You like IPAs?" I like them. Yeah. Down here, I drink a lot of Shiner, but I'm allergic to one of like the hops in it. There's certain hops I'm allergic to. Yeah. Shiner is one of those beers that messes me up. So if I'm looking I drink Shiner every night, but if I go out to the bar, I try not to drink it unless it's like I know I'm not driving. And Shiners, IPAs, some light beers like Ultra used to be my golfing beer. It's the golf beer.
I used to drink a lot of IPAs, but I got just kind of bored with
it's a lot of calories.
All taste the same. Well,
yeah.
I read an article that makes you grow boobs, and I said, well, now it's too late now, and I didn't know what to do after that.
Well, what I learned working at a brewery was like if they have lagers and light beers, those are the harder ones to make, right? And so usually if they mess up their beer and they do something wrong with it, like add the wrong hop or hold the hop in the boiled too long, they'll just make it an IPA by adding a whole bunch more hops. And so usually IPAs are just sours are mess ups because it's got bacteria in the tank. And that's what sours are. There's bacteria beer, but IPAs are usually mess ups. They just try to mask the mess up with a whole bunch of hops. And so it's not the most that's why all the homebrewers make IPAs, right? They're not that hard to make. But I don't drink that many IPAs anymore. That's too heavy for me. I drink whiskey and tequila on the rocks all the time.
Well, that's I don't try not to do it on the rocks because it waters it down. I just just.
You're stronger than
neat.
I am.
They call it neat for us Finnish folk.
Yeah, I drink it neat when I'm singing because somebody on the podcast one time said that the ice hurts your vocal cords, and I was like, well, maybe I should start taking some notes. So I stopped drinking ice, you know. But if I'm at home, I like it on the rocks. I like it chill.
There you go. We haven't done our buddy check tonight. Everyone's got one of these in their possession. Maybe you're watching the show on it, whatever you're doing. We'd like you to do it by the 6-pack. Reach out to a brother and sister and just say, hey, I was just thinking about you for a moment. You know, we jokingly, it's not jokingly, we have people that come on and say, you know, there's people that do push-ups that doesn't do shit. Okay, I don't care if you do all the push-ups you want to help bring awareness to veterans and first responders. And I'm not going to ever slam anyone for doing something. But what I can tell you, proactively reaching out to your brothers and sisters will 100% make a difference. And if we all do it, that's all of us. I mean, right here, if all of us do a 6-pack right now, that's 24 people. And those 24 people, that's over 100 people. And real quick, it adds up and it builds up. And again, it's not hard to build, again, those relationships. It's not hard to let people know that I'd rather see you alive than dead, regardless if I hate you or not. And I also ask you to try to mend one of those relationships. I've said several times on the show, I live with a regret in the man that was my best man and I was his best man. I literally let him drink himself to death because I was fussing over a little side thing that didn't really matter a whole hill of beans. And at the end, that's and you know, the what do you call it? I can't remember the word, my brain moment, but the irony, not the irony, but the fact that his mom asked me to speak at his funeral, be the main guy, was my karma, and having to talk through those pieces and stuff. So remember, it just takes a text today, and before it was a phone call. It could be an email. It could be anything. I promise you it will make a difference. And worst case scenario, you get to hang with a bud, a sister, a mother and father. And this is for anyone. This is not just for veterans and first responders. This is for people across the board. Suicide is an issue across all medias and platforms right now. And you know what? It's just not worth it to not do something. That's the truth. Why didn't he reach out to me? Well, why didn't you reach out to him? That's I hear that 1.5 billion times. Well, if he'd have just reached out to me. Okay, well, if you had just reached out to him, that's where we're at. So, Andrea, anything in closing?
I do want to share next week's guest. We have Mr. Bob Waldrop with Crosswinds Foundation. He's in movies, books. He's a busy guy involved in a lot of veteran foundations as well. We have C.W. Wooten and 20 Hands High coming back for music. He had songs we needed to hear yet, so we need to get to know him a little better as we go. C.W. Wooten. Did I say C.J.? C.W. Wooten.
No, you said C.W.
Okay. Well, we have a lot of Wootens in our world right now, so C.W.
That was weird.
Yeah, like boom, boom, boom. 3 of them in a row.
I never heard the name Wooten my entire life, and then we have 3 of them in like a 3-month period.
There's a guy here that plays music, Jimmy Wooten.
Oh my gosh.
His whole family plays
music.
Though, so maybe they're related.
It could be.
I think he was a bass player for like Neil McCoy or something. He's like 20 something, but his name's Jimmy Wooten. That's weird.
That is weird because oh my word. Well, you could meet CW. He's a fun guy, and then we will have a special guest. She's from the teacher world as well, and a veteran. Works in my middle school with our special ed kiddos, and she created sparkle sticks. Sparkle sticks. She loves fishing, but it wasn't glittery enough. So she's on a roll, man. She's getting in with the big. She has a nice fishing pole, clam. Okay, I can't tell you all. She's gonna come tell you about them. It's the week before fishing opener here in Minnesota, so I bought one. She's going to do lures and stuff too. I don't even put that on because then you catch fish and it interrupts like when I'm reading a book on the boat. So, or just taking a nap or getting some sun. Anyway, I'm just kidding. She'll be on to share her product as well. So we'll just have a full house next week. Oh, and let me just share our Dallas event coming up May 27th. We have got a day from 2 to 10 at, oh my gosh, it's all I talk about all week long.
The sound, Cypress Waters.
Yeah, the sound of Cypress Waters. Thank you. May 27th, 2 to 10 p.m. Bring a blanket, bring a chair, bring a cooler. Johnny Cole, the old 81 band, George Dooley band, Tammy Jo Dabbs, Holly Ann, and then our MC and performing comedian will be Chad Hutto. It's gonna be fun. I've already ordered up the good weather, but not too hot. It will be our Lone Star Shock and a kickoff event, and I'm serious looking forward to it. So with that, it's also the night before the Carry the Load meets in Dallas, like the next day. They come from all over, so there should be a lot of people in town. That all those bands, by the way, are veteran and first responder.
I might show up. It's only 3 hours from me.
Yeah, heck yeah, come on
party.
over.
I'm trying to make it there.
The more the merrier. No,
Let's
that'd be
party.
awesome. So that is I didn't put the link up. I'll grab the link real quick and put that up. I have flyers, we got everything. Somebody's got it highlighted. You guys are so on top of the notes. I love this. It's so cool. It was just Mark and I, Shaefer, forever. We'd have a few people. We had a couple of people here and there, and then for a long span of time, it was just Mark and I. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not good at all this, everything in the background. So now we have Jonathon.
John's here to save the day.
He's got it.
100%.
Well, if you go look at that page, you won't think I'm saving the day. I don't know what happened. The links got all messed up.
Oh no!
Yeah.
What happened? I'm just kidding. Yeah, don't do the GoFundMe. That's not the one.
Jonathon, what do you got, brother?
There's something that Shaefer brought up, and it's something that I've been kind of. I think we've all said it at some point or another. You know, music is what was the word he used? Therapeutic. Music is very therapeutic, and it's a great medium to help navigate the healing process for whatever you're going through. Honestly, there's music to support all sorts of things, but it's something that he said. You know, when I get into music sometimes when I'm kind of in my head, depressed, whatever, I just go to work and throw some music in and drown the world out, and then when you take the earbuds out, everything's better.
Yeah.
But there's a part that you said tonight that writing the music was also therapeutic for you. And I think it's amazing how everything goes full circle, right? Like you go through the process of healing while you write, and then that same song, somebody else hears it down the road and it's like, oh man, that was so great. You know, like it's a simple, and I say it's simple, it's really not because I can't write music, but it's a simple talent that God gave to a select few people. And man, it's amazing. Love music, love being a part of this. We are truly blessed.
It's definitely
I've gone
something
a day without eating or drinking, whatever. I don't think I've ever gone a day without listening to music of some shape or form.
every day.
So
Yeah.
you can absolutely argue that it is an essential piece to life. That's where I'm at.
I agree.
Shaefer, you got anything in closing, brother?
I don't think so. I just appreciate y'all letting me come on and hang out with you guys, and hopefully I get to hang out with y'all in person at some point.
Oh, we'll definitely make that happen. And just so you know, you're always welcome to come at any given time. If you got a release or want to share or anything, just let us know, and we're always open to that. Shannon forces himself on us all the time.
I'll hop in with Shannon from Alaska, maybe, and we'll just force our way into the show.
100%.
Salmon going upstream, you know.
Absolutely. the great salmon run of Shaefer and Book out there watching the salmon. It'd be one of those cricks where you can see the salmon jumping, and then
hundreds of them. Yeah,
two sets of butt cheeks sitting out there just watching the fish.
Oh yeah.
There's the visual. Now we're done.
If that doesn't happen, at least I can doctor a picture that'll make it look like that.
I'll try to make it happen. I'll put some hidden cameras out.
Pictures. Send the pictures.
Yeah.
It didn't happen if there's no pictures.
Picture didn't happen. Got it.
Thank you for everyone that came on tonight and everyone that shared. It was amazing seeing all our brothers and sisters that many organizations stepped in tonight. Many musicians came and stopped by tonight. This is such a fun opportunity and network, and we appreciate everything that all of you do. We don't get to do this without our guests, Shaefer and Mr. Barton, tonight, and just the others that come and check us out on the daily. And remember, we do have our new WP3 Buzz out there. It is a platform where you can share. It is just our network, and so we let organizations know it's not a place to solicit fundraising. It's just a place to share your mission and make sure people know that you're there to support. Musicians can drop their releases and their videos and share in there as they need, and then we just kind of make sure that those people that stumble onto it know that there's nothing but support in that network or in that platform. And we've had some dynamic conversations, and people reach out for some help in areas. We had a lady whose son had donated his heart, and she wanted to locate who the recipient of his heart was. That was pretty exciting conversation, just knowing that that heart lives on, and that's we'll take part of any mission that anyone throws our way and do the best we can with the resources we have. If you can, get to our YouTube page, like and subscribe. You don't like it, you subscribe to it, and you'll see all of our We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime shows, all of our weekly debriefs, and then all of the events that we do show up and are on there as well. So again, another amazing night, another amazing blessing, and we will see you tomorrow night at 4:30, 16:30 Central Daylight Time. Biggest thing, take care of yourself this week. Take care of yourself so you can help take care of others. And with that, we will see you when the smoke clears. Patriot Pride.
Patriot.